Mhm.
Stress-free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home. Do your two-step, get your groove on. This is feel good music, you can move on. Relax, stress-free, leave your kids at home. Leave your kids at home.
What's up, everybody? It is your man, Russ Mitchell, the homesick Buckeye baby. I am on the can with the fam on a Tuesday night, and I've got my brother with me. Man, let me tell you what, this dude will eat you out of house, home, and pond. It's my man, Charger Mofar. Rick, brother, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. It's been a little while, been a few weeks, man.
Yeah, it has. The last time that I was on, it was a hectic day. Today's a more relaxed day. I got my work done. I got home by 5 o'clock, and I had plenty of time to prepare.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. Hey, listen, plenty of time to prepare. And I don't know if there's more dangerous statements been made ever in the YouTube. And you give this guy time to prepare, family. Ain't no telling what he's cooked up over there. But whatever it is, I can guarantee you this: it used to have parents.
Yeah, that's right. It was running around probably a few hours before it went in the kitchen.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. We'll let the folks pile in the room here. Shout out to my Apex Odyssey getting this groove on. Yeah, man, we got our theme music when we come in. You know, we got to have our theme music. Got to get the vibe right for Tuesday night here where we just hang out and have fun. If you want to come in with us, hang out with us, there's a link in the chat. You can click on that thing, come on in, crack some jokes, have some fun, tell a story, tell us about yourself. You got something to promote, a YouTube channel, anything, a swap meet, you know, whatever, man.
Got that right.
We're all about the family.
We're about fun over here. That's what we're about.
Absolutely, man. We're here to have fun. We're here to laugh, have a good time. If you have questions about this keto life or carnivore life, if you got questions about the wild kingdom, man, we got the waterfowl destroyer in the building. Enemy of all things living.
I was just joking in the other live stream about Starbucks. You know, I've never actually been inside a Starbucks, but I have gone to Starbucks to get something to eat. But it came from the parking lot, not from inside the building. You ever had fresh chicken from the parking lot? That's where I got it from.
Yes, I have had fresh chicken from the parking lot of KFC.
Well, it's funny. Where the Starbucks is now used to be a KFC, and
Yeah,
they went out of business. But there's chickens around there, and I always laugh
yeah,
because like that used to be a KFC. Now it's free chick for me.
yeah. I've had fresh chicken from the parking lot of KFC, Bojangles, Popeyes. I can go back. Hey, listen, I can go back to Lee's famous recipe. Shout out to Lee's famous recipe chicken in Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, yes, sir. I've had fresh chicken from all those places, man. I've had fresh chicken from Winn Dixie.
Well, they got chicken in the Winn-Dixie parking lot too. I've made videos of those.
Yeah, I was in the Winn Dixie parking lot a couple months ago. Man, there was a flock of ducks out there, the Muscovy ducks, and I thought, I'm like, man, if Rick were here,
I'm
whew,
getting hungry already.
yeah, man, it would be Armageddon. It'll be Duckageddon in there. Bruce
I
is
get
here.
my
We got to say hey to Bruce because listen,
Yep.
Bruce is putting on his fuzzy pajamas right now, and he's got a story, a book, and he's gonna get a bedtime story, and he will be out of here in T minus 15. So we gotta say hey to Bruce. Good to see you, brother.
Yep.
Glad to hear. What were you saying, man?
Oh, I was just talking about, the ducks. If I saw all those Muscovy ducks, I'd get my van. I'd get a couple of cages and some bread and duck food. I'd be grabbing them and sticking them in the van.
Yes. If you see, listen. Now that gives you two reasons. If you see a weird looking dude in a white van, hide your kids. Hey, hide your kids, hide your wife, and your ducks.
Oh, speaking of kids, I had a customer I was working for today, and they threw one of these my way.
Oh, okay.
It's an
It
oatmeal
looks like a
cookie.
chocolate chip cookie or something there.
Yeah, he said it was an oatmeal cookie, and usually I
Oh,
tell
yeah.
him, no, but he just threw it to me when he was walking away. I'm not going to throw it back. So you know where that's going. Wink,
That's
wink,
what-
wink.
it's going right to it somewhere.
It's going right out front with the ducks that are wagging their tails and waiting.
A duck in need is a duck in deed, a duck or something like that. Trying to be weird. Love that. Guilty
Mhm.
as charged. First time live and from Fort Lauderdale. I love it.
Mhm.
Jacksonville,
There you
right
go.
up 95 on the Atlantic side there. So love that you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Grab
We are
those
here
iguanas and start cooking.
Yes, listen, don't get this guy started talking about iguanas. We have master of the iguana here. He will, yeah, that thing will go from slithering down near a pond to in a pot of water in no time soon.
Yeah.
It's funny. I came across something on my YouTube. It was a lady and her brother-in-law who set raccoon traps, and they had a raccoon, and they proceeded to string that thing up and dress him and everything right there live and living color on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, that's exactly. And they did something that I'd never seen before. Of course, I don't spend a lot of time around people who hunt and eat raccoons. They soaked it in milk overnight before they ate it.
Oh, that's to try to get rid of the gamey flavor.
Yeah, that's what I had to go to YouTube. I went to Google to look that up. I'm like, why do you soak it? And they're like, yeah, it takes away the strong flavor or whatever. But yeah, that was quite amazing to watch that. It's one of those things where it's like, this is hideous. I can't stand it, but I can't turn it off. Yeah, kind of like this show. I like this show.
Well, I tell you, I wouldn't want to eat a raccoon. They eat out of the garbage. I don't know. Them things don't look too tasty.
Well, iguanas don't eat out of garbage if they can
Nope.
reach it.
Iguanas eat flowers and fruits and a few bugs, and that's about it.
Gotcha. Susan's here. Hey, Susan. So good to see you tonight. Appreciate you being here. DS111 says the football field in the background reminds me of a toy football game from the 1970s. Yes, I remember that. I had one of those, and it would vibrate, and the players would slide around there. I had one of those. That is Ohio Stadium, home of the Ohio State University Buckeyes. I'm Buckeye born, Buckeye bred, and when I die, I'll be Buckeye dead. Me and semi-retired Bob. Shout out to Bob. He's out there somewhere planning his escape to Texas.
Not when it's this hot.
Yeah. Now, listen, he's excited about that. To live out in the middle of nowhere. We're trying to get out. People spent millions of years trying to get out of the caves. He's trying to get back in one.
I wouldn't want to go to the desert myself. I'd rather be in the swamp.
Yeah, there's no ducks out there, man.
No, ain't no ducks in the desert.
Ain't nothing out there but scorpions, man, and sand. You'd be out there making sand burgers, man. You'd be trying to you'd be making scorpion sand burgers. You can't have a heart attack out there.
No. You can have a heat stroke, but not a heart attack.
Yes. So yeah, it says, I'm actually in the gas line. You guys all know about post-hurricane blues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've, it's been, I live on the Atlantic side, so we don't get a ton of that kind of stuff. Not as much as the Gulf side, man. That Gulf side, I don't know what that's about over there. I could never. That's Hurricane Alley. And, they've got KetoCon there next summer. Actually fall, I guess, technically in September.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm like, I don't know what could possibly go wrong there.
That'd be kind of funny.
Heart attack iguana, yes.
Oh,
now do you fry it or do you boil it? I thought I heard you say you boil it.
I do it both ways. It depends on the iguana. The older, tougher iguanas I boil, and the younger ones I generally fry them up in tallow.
How do you know they're older? What, do you check their ID or something?
No, when you kill them, you can kind of feel it by the thickness of the skin. The younger ones, they tend to have a thinner skin. They also tend to be smaller. But the older ones that are bigger, they have a real thick skin. I mean, you could probably make shoes out of them things. The skin is so tough. So, yeah, they're better to boil because if you try to skin them, first of all, they're very hard to get the meat separated from the skin. So then you lose a lot of good meat. And then on top of that, if you fry them up, they're going to turn into shoe leather. They're going to be so tough, you wouldn't even want to eat that. You'd have to marinate them first. Like you said, you could put them in milk, or you could put them in, if you're a keto, you could use like lemon juice or sour oranges or something like that and get it all nice and moisturized. And then you could go ahead and fry it up.
There you go. Well, we've been 10 minutes in. We've already got the recipe there. Martin Nerwoodski, I hope I pronounced that right, says, Rick, you eat snakes? I've had 7 copperheads in my yard in the last 2 weeks. Myrtle Beach. Oof.
I've had rattlesnake and I've had water moccasin.
Now, did you actually catch those and eat them?
Oh,
or
I
they
killed
were brought to you? Or?
No, they were. What it was is the place I was working. I mean, we had a snake problem, so I went and shot some snakes. And every time I'd shoot a snake, I'm like, well, I'm not going to throw this thing away. So I'd take it home and gut it out and prepare it and cook it up.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that for you, Rick. So have you ever, now those aren't both of those snakes are very poisonous, right?
Yes, they are.
Which is, again, I guess that's why you shot them.
Yes, because it was at a construction site. One was a construction site, the other one was at the nursery. And, we got a lot of people that work there. And actually, I know somebody that got bit by one of the water moccasins because they're kind of aggressive. They live along the canal. They also call them a cottonmouth because they open up and they show you the inside of their mouth when they're being aggressive. So you try to get rid of them. You try to shoot them because you don't want them anywhere around. Because anytime, they'll bite someone for no reason.
Yeah.
And the rattlers aren't as bad, but that was over there. It was at a construction site. They were going in the pile of wood and the blocks and stuff like that. And the guy's like, oh, there's a rattlesnake there. So I went, and that one, I think I used a shovel. I don't remember how I killed it. All I know is I killed it to get it out of there. And then the thing was probably, 4 or 5 feet long. It was pretty big and it was thick. So I'm looking at it and I go, well, I've had snake before. I'm not going to throw this thing away. So it goes in my truck. And usually if I have a cooler handy, I'll put it in the cooler. And then when I go home, I'll cut it up. And I
Now
think
those,
I, yeah, I
I'm gonna
think I
say
use,
those water moccasins are real big, right? I mean, they're
yeah.
real. Now, how much of that is meat, and like how much is fat? How much is bones? How much is? I mean, how does all that work? Like
Well,
with a
it's like a
snake
big
like that?
tube. A snake is like a big tube. So what you do, you cut it open from the bottom, cut it from the belly. Normally, I'll use like sheet metal shears or something, and then just snip through the bones, and then you can open it up. So there's a good amount of meat. I mean, snakes are heavy, and most of their weight
Yeah.
is meat, but the body of the snake is hollow in the middle because they can
Hmm.
expand. You know, when they eat, they just
Yeah.
expand around the food. So when you're going to gut them out, you probably lose 10, maybe 15% of the weight in the stuff you throw away. The rest of it is meat. Of course, you don't eat the head because that's where the poison usually is. So you just cut that
Hmm.
off and throw that away. You don't want to mess with that.
Well, I figure you drink that. I mean, I figure you mix that up with a little bit of lard and and knock it down. Uh, huh.
That's one of the good things about being carnivore is that there are no poisonous meats, except I mean, I know you do have like toads; they have a poisonous skin, and then you have the puffer fish. They eat algae, so they can develop poisons in part of their body. But along the back, they're typically safe to eat because if they were poisonous in that area, they would die because it's a neurotoxin, and that's why in Japan they have fugu, which is basically puffer fish, and they have special training to be able to cut out the poisonous parts and then use the edible part. So, you know,
Yeah.
you're
No, I agree with that 100%. I've always said, I say that to the goofy vegans and vegetarians. It's like, if you get lost out in the woods, there's almost nothing you can eat. 90% of what you see around you, plant based, you can't eat. It will hurt you or kill you. But anything you see that's fat and protein, 99% of it won't hurt you at all.
mm-hmm,
So, just logically thinking through that thing, it makes perfect sense that we're designed for fat and protein and not so
mm-hmm,
much for, you know, for the plants. Shout
right.
out, my man K Hill is in the building. Chicago's best. Appreciate you, brother. Good to see you. Susan says, I don't miss hurricanes and evacuations. Born and lived on the Gulf Coast of Mexico. Ooh, 43 years. It's just, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is the thing about moving here, man. I mean, I'll tell you what, it is I thought I was gonna move down here, man, to the Sunshine State, get me some good oranges.
Hmm.
Back in the day, I ate that stuff. Yeah, they ought to call it the thunderstorm and hurricane state. Is really what they ought to call it because and they got bugs down here. Yeah, they got bugs, man. I'll tell you what, it's ridiculous. They ain't no baby bugs down here. All the
Mm-mm.
bugs are full grown. I
That's
remember I
right.
first moved down here. I'm like, man, look at that helicopter flying low. Is that a helicopter? Man, it was a bug.
Well, that's what you got the Muscovy ducks for. They'll eat every one of
Yeah,
them.
man. It is utter complete nuts. Heart attack snake, yes. Okay, so now okay. You've only had a couple different kind of snakes there, right? You haven't had a huge variety of snakes. But
I haven't, I haven't had
do you
python.
fry those or do you boil those or is it the meat's kind of what's the
Well,
story on the
the
meat
thing
there?
about snake being a reptile meat, if you try to fry it, you have to really be careful because it can dry out very quickly and get extremely tough. So again,
Hmm.
you want to marinate it. If you're going to fry it, then you want to make sure that you get it when it's nice and tender. Um, better just marinate it is the smartest way. Even if you just put it in, like you said, you can put it in milk, you can put it in some kind of citrus juice or something to break it down. Now, if you don't know if the snake's going to be tough, you just boil it. If you boil it, you can also pre-boil it where you boil it, remove the skin, and then fry it. But if you're going to fry reptile meat, you need to put something on it. And of course, for me, that's usually pork rinds. So you're going to dip that snake meat in eggs. You'll cut it in strips, and it's like when you make like conch fritters and stuff like that. Similar to that, you just cut it in strips. You put it in egg, and then you just batter it up and put some pork rind crumbs or whatever you want on top of it, and that's it. Fry it up. Just don't overcook it. That's the key. It's like cooking shrimp. You don't want to overcook it,
Hmm.
or it's going to be dried out or rubbery.
So you say that's all reptile meat is kind of along the same line that way. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, because reptile meat doesn't have external fat. The fat in reptile meat
Mm.
is mixed in with the meat. It's like shrimp. So
Mm.
you have to be very careful in how you cook it. You can't just throw it on the grill and expect it to taste good. Although there are people that do grill the iguana, but it generally isn't very good. So you're better off if you don't know how to cook it, go ahead and boil it or stew it. Stew is actually very good. I know the
Yeah.
Haitians, they like curried iguana. They put all kinds of spices in there, and if you like that, you can do it. But for me, I just use plain old water, put the reptile meat in there, and boil it up slowly. The thing is that you don't want to eat it raw because there's usually parasites, but you don't want to overcook it because it's just going to be a flavorless, like eating cardboard. You just got to get in between. That's the key.
Yeah, heart attack snake. Although that
Oh yeah.
doesn't sound like you get too much of that because you got to fry it up in the lard. And my man Rick says that is not the business,
No.
and he knows. So yeah, that is interesting. Michigan Hay says, remember the old Columbo episode where the chef poisoned someone with that type of fish?
I
I do
remember
not
that.
remember the episode, but I do remember Columbo.
I do remember that episode. I used to watch all the Columbos. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call that a fugu chef, and they're specially trained, but they use puffer fish, which, by the way, live in Florida. We have puffer fish here.
Hmm.
When I lived in Key Largo, I used to see them all the time. They look like normal fish, and when they get upset, they just puff out and they have little spikes on them. I'm sure you've seen them in aquariums. A lot of times, if you go to a Chinese
Yeah.
restaurant, they'll have one in the aquarium.
Yeah, no, the only puffs I'm familiar with are cocoa and cheese. So Josephine says, howdy, beautiful people.
Oh yeah.
Who you calling beautiful? She knows she's not talking to you. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you. But she called me people. I don't know if that's yeah, no, I may have listen, I may have seen a pufferfish and don't know that I saw one. What color are they?
It depends. They can change color based on their environment. If you were to look on Google and you look for puffer fish or you look for
Mm,
FUGU, which is fugu, which is a Japanese version of it, they'll show a
mm,
picture of it. But they can have a golden color. Sometimes they look gray. I mean, it really depends on where they're living and
mm.
what time of day it is because they do change color somewhat.
Make sure you put FUGU because if you go on Google and Google FU, I don't know what's going to come up. If you Google that, I have no idea. I cannot be responsible for what you might come up if you don't spell it right.
I mean, you'd be surprised at stuff. Some people eat sea urchins, and they're spiky things, but they have meat inside. There are
Hmm,
very few animals that have toxic meat.
yeah, that's really interesting. K Hill says fried alligator is delicious. I think they serve that down here. I think I've seen it in certain places in certain restaurants, gator tails and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
problem is it's
Now,
covered up
now
with
is it
breading.
does the rep? I guess reptiles, from what I've gathered listening to you, there's not really white meat and dark meat. It's just meat.
Yeah. Well, the legs
Mm,
are darker. The legs are a darker meat, but the thing is that reptiles, because they're cold-blooded, they don't have to have the myoglobin that other animals do. So they run in short bursts. They don't have to keep creating energy.
mm,
So their meat is going to be a whiter meat. Whereas like a chicken, for example, a wild chicken is going to have dark meat. Whereas one of those that's grown commercially, you have the white meat, the breast, even the legs are kind of white. But if you go in the parking lot and you grab one of those chickens, that meat is a lot darker than you would think.
mm.
So it's just different animal.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Susan says alligator fried up like nuggets or chicken fingers was delicious. It's been 30 years since I cooked any gator tail. So
Hmm.
when you buy it, they sell it. I've never seen it in stores. I mean, you have to go to like a butcher's market or something like that to get it. As kind of a specialized kind of thing.
Yeah, or you go with somebody that has a permit to go gator hunting and they'll catch a gator and you get some of the
Mhm,
gator meat. I've had friends give it to me, but I'm not really a big fan of gator meat because here in Florida we have a lot of heavy metals like mercury, and any
mhm,
of those apex predators like gators are going to concentrate the toxic material. Plus, a lot of the gators here, they live in canals. Who knows
Mm.
what they're eating? I mean, these canals are like dumping grounds. People throw garbage in the canal and everything, even though they're not supposed to. There might be microplastics or whatever.
But I guess I thought that gators only ate, meat. Like they
Gators,
were.
they'll eat anything that moves. I've seen them eat cans and bottles and all kinds of
Well,
stuff.
they'll bite. Okay, they'll bite anything that moves
Hmm.
because, from what I understand or I've heard about, they can't see very well.
No, they can't.
So, but do they spit it out or do they
Oh, I've
just down
I've
the hatch
seen
with it?
I've seen them poop out plastic bottles. When you see some
Oh,
gator
oh.
poop, I've seen with plastic in it. A lot of times they'll take a bite. If they don't like it, they'll throw it out of their mouth. They turn their head sideways, but sometimes they just swallow it. Like you said, they don't see very well, and they take a big gulp of something. I've seen where they'll eat a duck or they'll eat a fish, and they'll take a piece of plastic along with it. And once they swallow, they can't really spit it back up. Gators don't really vomit like other
Hmm.
animals do because of their digestive system. So it just passes through, comes out the other end.
Hmm. Yeah. I count it as a blessing that I don't think I've ever seen gator poop.
Oh, you'll
I
find
think
it.
that's
You go out in the
no,
Everglades,
no,
you'll
no,
find it.
no, no. I don't think I will. I don't think I will. That's a negative Ghost Rider.
I've seen it
Oh, my
over here
man
in the
Bruce.
neighborhood.
Our man Brute. What did I tell you? Got gas heading home, cell towers down, so I'll bid my goodbyes now. But brother,
Mhm.
we are glad that you are safe and sound. You got your gas, headed home, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite.
That's it. As long as you didn't get your gas from Taco Bell, you're in good shape.
Yeah, I don't get gas from there anymore.
You remember they used to have a bumper sticker in the 70s that said, "Eat lots of beans. America needs the gas."
Yeah, no, I don't remember that, but
Oh, I remember that. I remember as a
I'm
kid
eating.
being in the gas line with my dad, and then the car ran out of gas, and he's having me hold the steering wheel while he pushes the car to the Sunoco station.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I don't remember running out of gas till maybe once or twice in our life. My dad was one of those guys that he didn't push it too far, so
Back
they
then they
got
only
low.
let you put gas on certain days depending on your license plate number. And this had to be when I was in first grade because I remember it was like 1975, 74, somewhere around there. I guess they had that Arab oil embargo. And I remember we were, going to school, and then my dad was using a bicycle to take me to school because he didn't want to burn gas in the car. So he rigged up like a seat on the back, and then we were in the car trying to get gas, and he just ran out of gas. And then he's like, "Well, hold the steering wheel while I push the car." I remember that. I'm trying to hold
Hmm.
this thing. He's pushing the car. He got it to the station and then finally got gas in it. But I don't know. I still remember that.
Yeah. Susan says, my husband was a commercial fisherman. Oh, there you go. Grouper in the summer, stone crabs in the winter, sold to fish houses and restaurants all over Florida.
Mm.
I like grouper. Grouper is very good.
Hmm.
And yeah, a lot of fish for dinner, I'm sure there.
I ate a lot of
Look what I
snapper and
look what I
grouper.
caught at work.
Hmm.
Hey, there's my sister. How you doing, Rhonda? Good to see you. She went on vacation.
Hmm.
I'm guessing she's
What's
back
that?
from vacation. Yeah, so I get my time mixed up. It might have been a month ago, frankly. I can't remember. I'm old, man. I'm old.
Ah,
So, but good to see you, sis. Appreciate you hanging out. We just kicking it, hanging out here. Got our man Rick, Charge of Mopars, back in the building. Got a question for him about wildlife, carnivore life, keto life, any kind of life. The keto life. You put it in the chat if you want to come in the stream. We got a link in the chat. You come in, hang out with us for a little bit. Our man K Hill says, "What's the most exotic meat you guys have eaten?" I've eaten muktuk, which is whale blubber. If by exotic you mean weird, yeah, the weirdest thing I've eaten is probably shrimp. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't deal with all that. All that. No, brother. I don't have anything even remotely weird. I don't
I
even
think
do organs. I tell, hey, listen, brothers don't eat organs. We play the organ, but we don't. But we don't eat organs. So organs are for playing, not eating.
I
But
think that.
hey, well, to each his own. I can only imagine. Go ahead, go ahead and win this contest, Rick.
Well, I think a lot of the stuff that I eat normally would be considered exotic. How many people go to the canal, catch iguana or duck or, goose or whatever else they can get their hands on, chicken from the parking lot, rattlesnake, water moccasin. I've eaten frogs. You go frogging. I've never tried to eat a toad though. I always figured that would be not worth my time. They're too ugly anyway.
Yeah, I had frog legs one time. I get that's more exotic than shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
But I was actually this is years ago. I was at a Chinese buffet and they had frog legs,
Mm-hmm.
and it was the weirdest, most odd looking thing I'd ever seen. But I had to say, they were fried. They were breaded and fried, and
Seed
they
oils.
look they just look like the bottom end of a frog.
That's it.
It's like,
So
I
you
was just like, it was chicken like.
so you didn't go frogging yourself.
No, man. No. Listen, I've never. I killed a few rabbits when I was a kid, just shooting. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't eat them. I took them to my neighbor. He loved them. He
Mm-hmm.
thanked me a million times. Oh, this is it. And I mean, they were just wild rabbits. We had a yard full of them, and I just sit up on the porch and ping, ping. And
Mm-hmm. Well,
I'd
rabbit
go stick.
rabbit rabbit meat isn't really good unless you do it heart attack style. It's just way too
Yeah,
lean.
yeah. I don't know how he did it. I think he made a stew or something.
There you go.
Because he asked me one time if he said, I got some rabbit stew in there from them rabbits you brought me if you want. I'm like, no, no, we got we got pizza at the house.
Oh, pizza.
Hey man, I was 12.
Well,
Yeah.
I might have been the only
So,
kid that never liked pizza. I don't know.
yeah. We have rattlesnake and my man Kale's been around the block, man. He's been eating. He must. Were you in the military, Kale? Were you in the military over there? You were in some foreign land over there. I know you was over there kicking it with some exotic honey, dipping eel in ketchup. Yeah, man. I'm not. You don't have to answer that, brother. You don't have to answer that, man. One of your side chicks may be watching. I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you. So, yeah. Oh my goodness. No, I grew up pretty much. I didn't grow up on the wild. We were country folks, but we weren't that country. Plus, being Seventh Day Adventist, it's kind of the meats that you can eat are kind of strict, so
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't eat that stuff anyway. All the stuff that was in our yard. Now we did have a lot of deer. I didn't hunt them,
Mm-hmm.
but man, it was my dad had a garden, and yeah, he wasn't really much of the hunter, but I know he probably wished he was because he gets so mad at them for tearing up his garden. I know he probably he he thought about
Mm-hmm.
becoming one because they mess up your garden like crazy, man. He had all kind of try to put fences up and stuff, and they would just jump over them or tear through. We had a
Mm-hmm.
pretty big garden,
Yeah.
and
Well,
so
that would be good. See, if I had deer around here, that'd be great because I'd grow the garden just for the deer. That way, I don't have to worry about picking anything in the garden. Just wait till the deer come over, and then you got
yeah,
yourself dinner.
yeah. I'm sure there's deer around because don't you have coyotes and stuff down there? And
Yeah, but they
uh,
wiped out all the agriculture here. It's all these crappy condos and
mm,
shopping centers.
gotcha.
It's a bunch of garbage.
Oh,
They
right,
trashed
right,
this
right.
place. Yeah, there's deer upstate, and there's deer to the
Mm.
west in the Everglades, but that doesn't count. They don't come
Yeah. Oh,
here.
yeah. Because man, listen, when I'm traveling, I see them all the time, all over the road, and
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of the night, you can see them standing on the side of the road, just chilling, eating.
Well,
So,
in Florida, if you hit one, you can keep it.
oh yeah, well there you go.
If I ever had any roadkill deer, I'd grab that. I'd strap that on my truck, put it in the back of the truck, or put it in the van, and take it home and cut it up.
Yes, my man Kate said he had a side chick that was a Seventh Day Adventist from Belize. There you go. What more could you ask for? And she probably was not a vegetarian because most Adventists are not. A lot of people don't know that. I was having that conversation with somebody a couple of days ago. It's only like 30% of Adventists are Seventh Day Adventists are vegetarians.
You know, in my neighborhood, they got their headquarters and they got 2 churches. So they're all
Oh
over the
yeah,
place here.
yeah. No, it's a pretty big denomination.
Mhm.
They have a big a health uh, a health system as well. They serve meat in the hospitals. Again, there's a lot of misinformation and half truths out there about that. I grew up in the church and around the church, and most of my family's still in the church, and we ate meat our whole lives.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, it's funny
so
because they had a barbecue, the one down the street from me. They had a get together with a barbecue. So I was laughing because they're saying the Seventh Day Adventists are vegans and they're having a barbecue. I told a friend of mine that doesn't smell like veggies they're cooking on that
yeah.
grill.
Now that is rare. There's not a lot of churches because I asked my dad about this. My dad's been having this for 60 years, worked for the church for the last 40. But I asked him about that, and he said just recently, within the last maybe 5 to 10 years, some of the churches will allow meat at the potlucks. But when
Mhm.
I was coming up as a kid, there was never any meat at the potlucks. No.
Mhm.
I remember one time one of the members brought some, and the pastor told him to take it out of there. They didn't. They did not like it at the best. But it was crazy to me, like I said, because again, literally like 75% of our members of our church ate meat,
Mhm.
and so when we had church functions at the church, we just didn't do that. But if we went to each other's houses, for dinner,
Mhm.
we ate it all the time.
Oh yeah.
I went to Seventh Day Adventist boarding school too, 4 years,
Hmm.
and no meat. But we would sneak it in. We'd sneak.
Mhm.
Like the one year I lived, we had a hookup with the Domino's delivery guy, and he'd deliver pizzas to the back window of the dorm. He'd come around the back of the dorm, first floor window, and deliver pizzas to us. Because if you ordered a pizza and you had it come in the front door, the dean would check it. He would check it to see if it had meat on it because they just didn't allow it. They
Mm.
didn't allow it in that, and so we had to do an end around. We had it delivered to the back window, and then we could have whatever we wanted. So, but yeah, those were the days. Same way at Adventist College. I went to Adventist College my first year, and there was no meat in the cafeteria, but we were all adults. Go do what we wanted to do. And the
Mhm.
food was good. I have to say, I didn't lose any weight when I was in high school. We had some good cooks. They made some pretty good vegetarian dishes, and I do have to give them the credit. It wasn't we ate good, but yeah, it was no meat.
I don't know. I've never tasted anything vegetarian that was edible, so that's just up to me.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are plenty of vegetables, salads all the time, breads, pastas, that kind of stuff. But some of the vegetarian products they're good. I can't deny it. I probably like 30 or 40% of them.
Hmm.
But it's not. But what's not to like? It's a highly processed food. They make it to taste good. I mean, they engineer it with enough spices and flavorings and sugars and all the stuff they put in the lab. They make it's supposed to taste good.
Anything I've ever
So
eaten that wasn't meat, I didn't like. I don't care how much time they put into it. People get mad at me. They spend all day in the kitchen. Oh, Rick, have a piece of it. Oh, that's no good. What do you mean? Everybody loves my food. The lasagna. Oh, my lasagna is the best lasagna. I said, well, the meat tastes good, but the rest of it's like duck food. Well, you're not eating this the pasta. I'm like, why would I eat that? That don't taste good.
yeah,
Oh, they love my lasagna. And then the other thing was chicken pot pie. Yeah, I mean, the chicken was
yeah.
okay, but the rest of it is like vegetables. You want me to eat that? They put potatoes in everything. It's like, what's the deal with that?
Hey, 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 hey! Easy on the potato now. I will not have you speak of my beloved Spud in that foul manner. I will have none. I will have none of it.
Oh, it's a foul matter for sure when the ducks
Oh,
eat it.
I will not have you speaking of my beloved potato in that way. Josephine says, I'm cooking up slow beef brisket. Oh my God, the smell is so good. It's been 5 days and realized I was only eating pork ribs and chicken. Sadly,
Mm.
not the heart attack chicken. Yes. Well, that sounds good. What are you
Oh,
guys eating out there this week? I tell you, I made something a little different this week. Oh, look who's in the building. Nay, nay. Hey, Renee, good to see you, sis.
mm-hmm.
Kale says he's down 56 pounds since January. I love that, brother. Love that.
Excellent.
Good to hear that, man. Yeah, I got a weigh-in coming up here next week. I don't know. I feel good, but I hate to say it. I've been eating good, everything good. I really don't think I lost any weight. I can tell usually like the week before I weigh in if it's going to be good. I can just tell. I just feel different, but I
Have
feel great, but I don't know. I don't feel like I normally feel when I have a great weigh in, but there's a week left. Who
have
knows? And you know me, I don't lose any
what,
sleep over it.
what about
I've been
exercise?
I've been eating clean. You what?
What about exercise? Are you still sitting all day?
A little bit more
Okay.
than usual, but not a lot. I cannot lie about that. Um, I went to Costco last week. That was quite a little run around, and I walked up my driveway a little bit. Not
Okay.
again. Hey, I doubled my exercise from 1% to 2%. How about that?
There you go.
So yes, but you're right, and I'm going to Costco tomorrow, so that's always a lot of. So we'll see how it goes. I definitely have some laziness, but it's the first of the month too, and I'm very very busy at work the first week of the month, so it's hard to get away and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I might after the show, I might go walk the driveway. I might do a night walk here tonight. As a matter of fact, you kind of shamed me into it there, Rick.
Well, I
So
mean, it is hot down here, so I can
yeah,
understand not wanting to go outside. But
yeah,
still,
yeah.
I've been on my bike.
It's more of a routine thing. I'm a creature of habit and routine. So it's like, I just do the same things. I get up, boom, get to work, boom, 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 and then I'm a little hungry, grab something to eat, then I get back to work, and then I gotta run an errand and then come back, do a little more work, and the next thing you know, it's 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the day just gets away from you. It's one of those
Mm-hmm.
things you just gotta find a way to incorporate it into your routine and into your
Mm-hmm.
life.
Right.
Trying to shoehorn something new in your life. So, again, I will get to it. I will get
Mm-hmm.
to it. But I'm eating clean and I feel great that way. But I got things to work on. I got mountains to climb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, no.
Wink,
That's why
wink.
they probably be
Hey,
chasing me.
hey, he saw those Muscovy ducks. Just round some up and bring them home.
Yeah, listen, those ducks, you wouldn't even have to round them up. They come and jump in your dang car because everybody, people were coming out of the store with loaves of bread,
Oh yeah.
just tossing it to them. And they were just living their best life, man. I'm like, you don't even when they have to chase them, they'll walk right up to you and jump right in your arms.
Yeah, well, see,
So I'm
mine
like,
aren't like that. Mine run away when you try to get close to them.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no,
They're
no, that
afraid of my
you're right,
kitchen.
Kel. Listen, you're preaching to a saved man here. Listen, knowing what you need to do and doing it are two different things. So yes, but yeah, you guys keep on me. I'm targeting 2031. 2031, I'm gonna be. I think I'm gonna be on it. Oh yeah, man. So. But let's see, this week I had some lamb chops that were wonderful, um, and I finished those up, and I made some oxtails and I mixed them with ground beef
Mm.
because the oxtails are very fatty, and I
Mm-hmm.
made the mistake of making oxtails and packing them up and traveling with them.
Mm.
And I will not do that I won't do that again.
It turned to a Jello
Yeah.
mess.
I was going. Well, no. Well, they were delicious,
Oh,
but when you eat that much fat, it you know things don't always come out the way you planned them. So
depends on the person.
yeah, that is not a listen for me. That is not a road food. That's a food that you eat at the house, And you don't travel. I don't travel with them. I don't travel with eggs either. I
Hmm.
travel with ground beef, steak, and beef sandwich, beef sausages.
Steak
Those
is the
are
best. Steak is the best road food because it's the easiest to cook on the engine.
yeah. No, I cook it. I cook it the traditional way. Slice it up, put it in glass storage dishes, and I have a wonderful little heating. I keep it in glass dishes, and I have a wonderful little heating thing. It's about 15 by 12. It's not very
Oh.
big. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the size of a cutting board, a small cutting board, and I can take my glass dishes and plug that thing in anywhere and heat it up. Because, as you well know, when you eat a lot of protein and fat, it does not microwave well. The fat gets scalding hot and burns your
Microwave.
face off, and the protein doesn't get it's cold. So um
I never microwave anything.
oh well, that is true. You said that before.
I use a microwave as a storage bin.
Yeah. I don't use it much anymore. I used to heat up water, maybe to melt some butter, some different things, to melt things, thaw things a little bit. I used to
Mm-hmm.
use it a lot to heat up the food, but now I don't anymore. I have like a toaster oven kind of air fryer thing that I heat up all
Mm-hmm.
my food in, and I did that quite a while ago. When you start eating this way, if you have plastic like Tupperware dishes or things like that, you just can't. It's tough because you put them in the microwave, they heat up, and it melts. Some of it, well, the grease and stuff will melt the plastics. So I converted everything to glass. I have great glass, portable glassware with nice tight lids. So
Mm-hmm.
when I'm heading out on the road, I'll grill up a couple of steaks, maybe some ground beef, and I get the beef sausages from Costco, the grass fed
Mm-hmm.
beef sausages, and I take those with me. And I have, like I said, a cool little warmer. You can plug it into an outlet, or you can even plug it into an inverter in your car. It
Mm-hmm.
heats up stuff really well, really evenly, and man, you can get it in. And I use that too. I go to Golden Corral a lot when I'm on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my favorite places to go to because after 4, they got the
You
all
get
you
the
can eat
steak.
steak.
That's right.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know you can take it to go.
Oh,
They actually have bins and you can they weigh it on the way out, so like you can. And I'm gonna tell you what I do is I go in there, I chart it out, like if I because I'm mostly a road trip guy, and so I'll chart out, on Google, and I'll find out the major cities and where they're at, if they're on near the highway or whatever, and I'll go in there, sit down, fill up, and I go up there, and that guy will look at me like I got 3 heads. I'm like, yeah, I'll take all that. And I'm like, just give me that
mm-hmm.
whole. And he looks at me. I'm like, yeah, you might as well get another slab out and get to cooking. I mean, it's sirloin. It's not like the best.
Yeah,
It
it's
ain't
the
like a
tough
Brazilian
stuff.
stuff, but it's edible. I mean, it's
Oh,
edible.
it's edible, all right.
They probably doctored up with some seed oils and stuff. But I'm on the
No,
road. I'm not
uh,
worried about all that when I'm
I
traveling.
I asked the one down here. They don't put any seed oils in the meat.
Oh, I figure they might fry it in that, coat it with that, and then put it on the
They
grill or
well, they
something.
get
But
it. They get it from Cisco, which is the restaurant
yeah,
supply, and then I called them to find out. They don't put anything in it. It's just
and then,
strips of beef.
then a lot of the tenderizing because it's pretty tender for a sirloin cut. I figure they soak it in something, or I don't know. I don't care. Like I said, when I'm on vacation, I'm not one of these people that are going to ask a million questions. I just I just try to stay out of the wrong drive-throughs. That's really when I'm on vacation. That's my one motivation to stay
Oh,
out of the drive-throughs. But
I've never.
I go in and sit down, eat, and then I'll take a big to go box, and I'll go right back up. I'm like, hey, fill it up.
Rick Rick don't do drive through. Rick does drive to.
Yes, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
If the
So
trip is longer than an hour, then there's going to be something cooking on the engine.
yeah, I get my oxtails from Costco. They have the best price. And yeah, I got a ton of them but they don't always have them. It's the funniest thing. So when they have them, I usually stock up on them because I'll keep them in my freezer because it never fails. When I run out, they don't have any. And like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're out. We'll have some next Thursday. I'm like, next Thursday? So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, what's going on, Dave? Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, you were just over them. But yeah, man. So I made so what I did was the last time I went on vacation and I um had some oxtails and then I ran into a little you know problem there, and so I thought to myself, and I thought, you know what? I'll bet you if I mix these with some ground beef, that would be amazing. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I did. So I made some oxtails. I put them all together and season up the ground beef and season up the oxtails, and it actually is fabulous. And so we'll see. So far, so good. I didn't eat that much of it because
Mm.
I didn't want to. Although I am at home, I guess that would have been exactly the thing to do. Um, I eat about half what I normally eat, and so far, so good. No
Mm.
problems at all. So there must, like I said, it's probably slows it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there is my sweet, sweet sister, my friend, I've known her since we were teenagers. We went to high school together. Speaking of Adventist Academy,
Mm.
um, look at that. Watch your head shrinking is fun. Okay. Yeah. Goodbye, Anio. Love you too. Love you too. You need to come on a live stream with me. You need to pop in here, and I'm sure the folks would love to hear some goofy story about something I did. Half the stories my friends tell me about high school life, I don't remember them. I don't remember the stories, but they all remember it. It was all a blur. It was all a blur. But yes, I'm living my best life, and I love Anna, and I love her to life. She is a wonderful human being. Shout out to your sweet mom, Mama O, in North Carolina. I'm sure she's in North Carolina, unless she's visiting you. And yes, I'm doing great, living my best life. I'll be up in September, so maybe I'll see you then. Tell Pete I said hey. That's her husband, and I appreciate you checking in on me. Moving, grooving, steadily improving. I think I heard that somewhere on somebody's
Mm-hmm.
channel. Shout out to 300 IQ Wizard. I just had 15 wings and a box of Mojos. I don't know what Mojos are, but my man said they were good, and I believe you. You know what Mojos are?
Not really.
Speaking of Mojos, I got a Keto Mojo
Ah.
device,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm going to start doing that a little bit. Um, just checking my blood sugars. I don't know. I've stopped some things, cut some things back. I was talking about it last week. I'm off the coffee. I'm drinking more tea now,
Mm-hmm.
and the artificial sweeteners kind of changing those up a little bit. I don't use those that much anyway, but I was using allulose. Now I'm using some monk fruit extract, um, and just some other little tweaks. I talked about that a few weeks ago. I'm off of bacon right now,
Mm-hmm.
eating more beef sausages, sardines, and salmon.
Good.
Just mixing it up, trying it. Like I was saying, for those who may not have heard it, the bacon just doesn't sustain me. If I
No.
eat eggs and bacon, I'm hungry again. It's like eating, like they say, Chinese food. It's like I'm hungry again in a few hours. It seems like it just doesn't stick to my ribs. But when I eat beef sausages or ground beef or other things like that, steak or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I just, it just sticks with me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? Out with the bacon for a while, and I would just eat the beef sausages, ground beef, make a few more steaks and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm trying that for a while. So far, so good. like I said, diet's not really a big problem for me anymore. Diet-wise, I'm good.
Mhm.
My next hurdle, the next mountain for me to climb is definitely the activity.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
really think I've plateaued. I really think, I mean, I'm tweaking around the edges, like I said, with the coffee and the dairy. See, because here's the thing with the coffee. The coffee has I put a lot of cream in it. And it's mostly what I use cream for. So by being off of coffee, I'm really off of cream too. And
Mm,
I hear that some people have problems with it. So
mm.
we're trying that. I don't drink. I'm
Right.
not by any stretch addicted to it or whatever. I can, it's just something to break the monotony. And I drink iced coffee anyway. I don't drink hot coffee. So it's watered down coffee anyway.
No, in our last live, we were having a little conversation about coffee, so I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was watching a few different videos. Dr. Barry's made some videos about it. It actually has hidden carbs
Mhm.
um, because it is made from a bean.
A
Tea has
seed.
less. Yeah, seed or whatever. Yeah, tea has less, he says,
Mhm.
because it's, made from it's soaked in the plant as opposed to grounds.
Yeah, tea is
But
leaves.
it has hidden carbs in it. But like I said, I'm just tinkering around the edges. But like the bigger thing is the activity level. That's what I really got to get after, and I will. Just
Mhm.
I just do things in my own time.
Mhm.
It's just I'm weird that way. So I think I saw Jenny. Yes, look who's here. I bought some oxtail at Kroger this week. Can't wait to cook it up. I like your heated toast you plug in your car. Yes, I will be on the road this summer. Someone to get me one. Yes, that is so wonderful.
Hmm.
I actually still have that one, and I don't use it as much, but I do use it. I actually got another thing. It's just the hot plate. It's not a hot plate where you can cook on. It's only to heat things up. But I just have that now. But I still do carry that red tote from time to time. I took it to Texas with me.
Hmm.
But
I
but
have a
yeah,
red tote.
it's
I got an
I
engine
have,
though.
yeah. I have it's a pretty cool thing. It looks like a piece of luggage. It looks like a
Mhm.
tote bag, but the
That's like.
bottom around the rim of the bottom it has a zipper.
Mhm.
And you lift it up, it's got you lift it up and there's a hot plate in there that you can plug in and heat up
I
food. And it's thermal. The top tote part is insulated and keeps things hot or cold.
I I have
And
a
it's
cooler
really
like
cool.
that.
Yeah. And so you can plug it into a wall or you can plug it into a car if you have an inverter. And it heats things up to about 150, 160 degrees,
Mhm.
which is a good and hot to heat things up. You can't really cook with it, but you can definitely heat things up
Mhm.
very well. I love that thing.
Or you
But
can use V8 power and get it done that way. Open
but
the hood.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but I just changed up just because I wanted to travel a little bit lighter, and so I can fit that little plate in to the same bag with all my food and groceries and stuff. So I basically have
Mhm.
one bag to carry instead of two now. That's the only
Right.
reason I don't use it. But yes, that's wonderful. And yeah, if you can get your oxtail, I don't know if they have a Costco near you, but the prices, at least around here, are much cheaper at Costco for oxtails. Like I can tell you that the cost for oxtails at Costco is cheaper than the sale prices at the other stores.
Hmm.
So it's like I can get them for like $7.99 a pound. When they're on sale at Publix, they're $8.99 a pound. They're
Yeah,
like 10
Publix is
something a
crap.
pound. Yeah. So and
They had
even
them
when
at
Dixie's
Fresco
is
and Moss for $3.99 a pound.
oxtails?
Yes,
Wow, that's amazing. Not around here.
Fresco
They're
and Moss.
yeah, I don't know.
It's a
I guess
division of
oxtail.
Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, I guess oxtails are oxtails. It's not kind of like I've learned the hard way the ribeyes aren't ribeyes.
That's true.
I went and listen, I went to a store that I will not name, and I got a ribeye that I swear, but I'm like, what's this? A ribeye of what? A tire? Like they
More like
butchered
a
a
chuck
tire
eye.
in the back. Like, yeah, this is the ribeye of the tire. So put that
Yeah.
on your grill and smoke it. Yeah. So But
Well,
that is wonderful, Jenny. I don't know how you're going to make them, but in my opinion, slow cooking or pressure cooking is the
mm-hmm.
best. I've seen people put them in the stoves and different things like that, and I don't do that. Some people put a sear on. I don't do any of that, man. I'm gonna tell you, I got a Ninja pressure cooker. It's actually a 12-in-1. It air fries, it bakes, it pressure cooks, it does all the above. I love that thing. I would fight somebody to the death if they try to take it from me. And I can make those oxtails in literally in an hour and 10 minutes now, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to slow cooking them for like 5 or 6 or 8 hours or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I much prefer the pressure cooker, but slow cooking is also a wonderful way.
I pressure
Um,
fried also.
you pressure fry.
Yeah, frying in a pressure cooker. You can deep fry in a
Oh,
pressure cooker.
yeah, but it's not on. It's is it under pressure, or is it
Yeah, it's
just
under
you're just
pressure.
using it as a?
Yeah, you
Oh,
get
okay.
some tallow or lard, put it in there, put your food in there, put the lid on it, and then it just goes, it pressure cooks like anything else because there's water in the
Huh.
food and the vapor comes out. It's like frying it. That's what Colonel Sanders used to do when he started Kentucky Fried Chicken. He had a pressure cooker and he was frying in it, so it'd fry
Oh,
faster.
I thought they pressure cooked them and then breaded them up and fried them that way. I don't know. I
No,
believe you.
they have a Henny Penny pressure fryer. So basically, of course, they use seed oils, but when I pressure fry, I do it on the stove using a pressure cooker and lard or tallow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. No, Costco's are definitely regional because I hear that all the time. My dad lives in Columbus, Ohio, and there's certain things that I have down here that he doesn't have in his, and other people say, "Oh, I get them in Costco," and I'm like, "They don't have them at our Costco." So yeah, there's some regional differences, but I will say that our Costco down here uh,
Hmm.
does run out of them from time to time. So I don't know if your Costco doesn't carry them at all ever, or if they just run out of them a lot. But my Costco runs out of them, which is why when they have them, I I I stock up. I don't know
Down
how many.
down here, they call the oxtail rabo, so you find that a
Hmm,
lot in the Cuban markets.
hmm, yeah. Plus the other thing too, like in the I don't know how many pounds. I need to look that up. But of course, like when you go into I made a video one time about that. I got some oxtails. It was just enough to make me angry. It's like because I went to at Costco, everything's in bulk. So I want to say it's 5 pounds, maybe. You get them in 5 pound packages,
Hmm.
maybe more than that, um, maybe 7 or 8 pounds.
Hmm.
But when you go into Publix or Winn Dixie or whatever, they just have like little ones. They're like maybe 2 pounds, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm making them a lot more than that because there's a lot of fat, and it's about 50% fat to meat,
Hmm.
and it cooks down and all that. But yeah, man, I can't just have one little bit of oxtail. That's crazy, man. I gotta eat until I'm comfortably stuffed. I think I heard a doctor from
Hmm.
Tennessee say one time or
That's
50
it.
times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that this week. I got scrambled egg, beef sausages, and then I've got my oxtail ground beef mix, and that's what I'm doing this week. And yeah, I'm gonna be getting it in.
Hmm.
That is for sure. Well, all right. I think we have fulfilled our contractual obligation to the family this week. As always, man, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Always good to see the family, hang out with the family. Appreciate all the comments and the fun and the laughs. And we will see you next week. I think Dustin Cade is with us next week. I don't know if you know Dustin, but he
Hmm.
is a really good dude. Keto Simple.
Oh, he knows me.
Yes,
He knows me.
everybody knows. Everybody knows you.
I
You
guess
are
you're
the
right about
man.
that.
Yes, you are the man. You're that guy, and I'm glad I know you. I'm lucky I know you, and I'm lucky you know me.
Well,
That's what that's about. So,
there's only so many
but
of us
yeah,
in
so
Florida.
yes, yes. So Dustin will be with us next week, hanging out. So if you like long black beards, you will love that guy because he's got a great beard. Good guy.
I'm one of the few that doesn't have any.
Yeah, me either. I got a little bit there. I like it. Look like I just came off a mountain. I like that mountain look. So, I appreciate you, brother, for hanging out with me. You know, you're the best. I always have a good time, a lot of fun with you. So we will be back next week, 9 p.m. Eastern at the Keto Cookout. Until then, we grilling, baby.
We're grilling iguana.